What's up, YouTube? It's Christmas Eve, so Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I'll probably post this up tonight, and yeah, it's been kind of a rough week. There's um, just had some tragic news, and um, yeah, I think overall, um, I kind of like I've think told you that the comics help my getting back into the comic hobby. It's helped uh, kind of helped me manage my anxiety, and it's been a very anxious period with all that's going on, and just stuff with work and dealing with uh, a toddler on top of all this. Um, but yeah, it's I find these videos are therapeutic and definitely kind of focusing on the collection and the hobby is a good sort of distraction from all that all that you know all the stuff you think about, and all the stuff you kind of worry about. So anyway, it's Christmas Eve, and like I said in previous videos, we have basically all my recent purchases from eBay have arrived. So thank you to all the sellers who, it was kind of worrisome, as because I kind of ordered stuff a little late and we weren't sure if we're going to get everything. Everything's here, and it's Christmas Eve. The second to last one arrived. I have one more book coming, and that's a big Grail book. And so when that comes, I think that's coming um, on New Year's Eve. It's supposed to be here by next week by Friday. So uh, it'll probably arrive a little before that, but whenever it arrives, I'm going to open it up. We'll take a look at it. Big Grail book. Big Grail book. It's one that, aside from the big number one Grail I got, my favorite comic, which was the G.I. Joe 21, this is probably the second right behind that I wanted. And the reason I felt I had to move on it, I was definitely feeling FOMO, because apparently, from the new, all indications are from uh, what's dropped in the Spider-Man No Way Home, in the Doctor Strange trailer, is that there's indications that Secret Wars is in the works. So, should that be true, or some kind of black suit origin story makes its way into um, whatever iterations of Marvel that are coming, it'll be a book that's gonna just explode. So I felt like it's a little down right now, so it was a good time to. I think a lot of people. It's kind of mixed. A lot of people are kind of waiting on it. A lot of sellers are, I think, wanting to kind of move it. Um, but I think it's probably a good buy opportunity right now because it is down a little bit, and there's no real um, hard confirmation on that spec. So, but I just basically gave the book away. Yeah, so Secret Wars 8, the black costume cover, just iconic comic. I got that, and I got it at a really good price. So what's interesting is there was a really nice copy, and like right up to like 10 hours before the auction ended, maybe, oh, actually, I take that back. Maybe 12 hours before the auction ended, there were no bids, zero bids on this, and I think everybody was kind of just waiting on it. They didn't want to put in a bid. Everybody's waiting on it. I think toward the end there was 3 or 4 people bidding on it, me being one of them. But yeah, I woke up that morning, maybe 3 4 hours before the auction was to end, and I saw an initial bid. So I put it also. I just kind of put the highest bid in there. Now for that auction, I was gonna put in a final snipe bid of like 228, and sorry, yeah, 228 was gonna be my final bid. And then I thought, 228, because with tax and everything, that would have shot it up to like 250. So I thought, let's go 213 and see if we can get it. That was a bad strategy. Someone probably bid 250 on it because I think that's ultimately what won. But yeah, so I waited till like the last minute, I think like 10 seconds in, bid 213. It didn't win it for me. And so the final price ended up being like 225. So had I gone with 228, not that I would have won it at 228, but someone obviously bid 225, and then someone bid higher than that. Um, so anyway, I'm curious to know what the final, you know, max bid was. It was probably 250 because it's a really clean copy. I mean, there's like one spine tick. Outside of that, um, not much wrong with the book. Um, White pages. I mean, it's just a beautiful book. So I was really disappointed on losing out on that, but I had as my backup plan, and I got an offer which was about, what was it? So that was 225. It was about it was, I'm not gonna tell you the final price, but it was a lot lower than that copy. And this one also is, so there's a little bit of, I mean, it's very minimal, but at the bottom there are these like kind of like, you can tell there's some ink wear. You can kind of just see that there's some, I just want to say ink fading, because it's usually, it's a red cover, but at that bottom there you kind of see some white, so just kind of a little fading, very, really barely noticeable. But other than that, this is actually a better copy than that other one, because there are no spine ticks from what I can see. I mean, just like really, might be probably a minor, really minor spine tick, but you can't tell from the picture. So I doubt. I would imagine that other copy has those similar minor ones, but nothing major. Corners are sharp, white pages. I mean, my copy, and mine is very glossy and bright. So that could come back that near mint. It's definitely the lowest it could be is a VF, just because potentially maybe some very minor spine ticks and maybe the corners. But other than that, we're looking at VF plus uh, at the lowest and or above. And so I'm thinking it could even be like a 9.2. Um, and again, I got it way lower than that auction price, so I'm very pleased. So I wasn't gonna. I had it as a reserve to see if I could win that auction, and then when I didn't win the auction, I just pulled the trigger on it because, again, and so that's the thing. Like, I think I ended up getting the better condition book in like overall. They're both great condition books, but I think I like they're on par in terms of grade. I'm very curious to know what that other book would have graded at. But I know the copy I got is probably on par with it, if not better. So I feel very pleased. I like, you know, I felt like I saved myself some money, and that guy probably should have done his like homework. But what I did was like I got a discount. I sent in an offer, which was kind of low, but the guy came back with a counter offer, which was acceptable. So I kind of had it in the wings. When I lost that auction, I just went in and bought it. So that is arriving. Okay, so I just realized some of the addresses were exposed, so I covered them up. Now, so yeah, I got this one, as I was saying, I got this one yesterday, and we'll go over this. I opened it up already. We'll go over that book. And I got this one today on Christmas Eve. So, and this one hasn't been opened yet, so we'll open that up and take a look. Now, so I got this yesterday, and this is a book I really, it's a key book for the Jim Lee collection. It's very significant. Marvel Age 104. This is actually the first time Jim Lee is on the cover, like literally on the cover himself. He's in like he's chained to his drawing station, and again, this is the X-Men preview issue, X-Men #1, the best-selling comic of all time, Guinness Book Records. So this is actually like came out before it set the record. So very key book. I haven't been able to find this in my search. There's not a lot of Marvel Age. I think Marvel Age is one of the most popular issues because a lot of it basically previewed everything that was coming out of Marvel, right? So people were buying it for $1 essentially. Yeah. Anyway, key book. And I knew going into this purchase that this was not like the best copy. I was just expecting it to be like a VF copy because there, as you can see, I knew going in that these creases were there. It was very evident in the photo that the creases were there, so I knew that. But they weren't color breaking. I thought they could be pressed out, and even if they weren't, I thought it's not significant enough to really lower the grade all that much. And I knew there was a little bit of like a crease at the top. I didn't think it was going to be that significant. So yeah, I felt the price was fair. But then I got the book, and then no. So after taking a look in person at the top of this book, I just was not pleased. These creases are a lot worse in person. I mean, they actually just kind of bend out. And this is not something that can be resolved with a press. Those are going to be severe color breaking creases. So that's significant. That's significant to the point it would drop this to a 7.0 easily. Okay. And then given those creases, we're talking about like a 6.5, maybe even a 6. And there's issues on the back. The corners aren't really sharp. There's just sort of this like bend here. You can see that bend on that edge there. There's also a stable issue here. So we're looking at like a 6.0 mid-grade copy here. And so for what I paid, I feel like, no, this is not something I want to keep. So I'm going to return it and get a full refund. Now, I did reach out, so I processed it already. I have to send it out, send it back. I have to pay for the postage, which is fine. But I'm going to get a full refund back. Now, I did message the seller, and I let her know that this is a book I'd be willing to get a partial refund on. And so I sent her what I felt is the fair value to get a partial refund of a few dollars back on this book. and we'll just have to see how she responds. So she has two options: just give me a full refund, I send the book back, or partial refund, and I keep the book. So either way, either option is fine by me. But at what I paid, I feel like, yeah, it's not worth what I paid. So it's either going to go back, or I'm going to get the fair value for what I think it is. Now, I told her in detail, why I thought the book, well, I told her I thought the book was mid-grade, and hopefully she has, she sells a lot of comics, so I'm sure she has a good understanding of grading, and she probably knows or has an idea of what the condition of the book is and what the grade probably is. So, I mean, she had it fairly low priced anyway, but I feel like on a book like that, where it's a key, it's like a key. You don't want a mid-grade copy for such a significant book. And so, yeah, and I'm willing to pay more to get a better copy than keep this one. So this one's not going to stay in the PC unless I get a fair value. Even if I do get a fair value for it, I'm just going to keep it as sort of a place marker, and we're still going to look for it in the wild for a better condition copy. But anyway, let's get to this one now. I owe this person an apology because anyway, there were some communication issues. I felt like the guy wasn't really in a rush to send it out. He sent it out after 5 days. But apparently, like, maybe the post office wasn't able to scan it. I don't know exactly what happened, but he said he sent it out on Monday, but it didn't get officially scanned until Wednesday. But anyway, it got here on Christmas Eve. That's all that matters. So I owe the guy an apology, and I will give him one. And I just want to thank him. So if he's watching this video, and maybe I'll give him a mention. I don't want to necessarily call out people like this lady. I don't want to call her out because I feel like we're still in the process of our transaction. So I just have to see how she responds and if the refund is. So right now we're kind of on hold. And this guy as well, I'm not going to reveal who he is until I know for certain one way or another whether it's positive or not. So I'm just going to put the camera down just for a minute and open this baby up. And the reason I feel like I owe him an apology is because, like, I mean, I did kind of like get upset. I just felt like he wasn't responding to my concerns for, the book not getting shipped out 5 days. But for him, of course, if he had sent it out Monday, anyway, I just felt like there was like a disconnect with him taking my issue with a sense of urgency. So, yeah, I mean, but anyway, no harm, no foul, and so I'm just going to write him, give him a nice kind of happy holiday message. Alright, so he did package it, he did package it well. It looks fairly secure there. And again, this book has issues as well. And it's not like It's not a near mint. It's probably closer to VF copy. That's what we're expecting, a VF copy. And another key Gimli book. So let me just, God, it's hard to do with one hand here. Okay, I was having technical problems, so I had to basically pause the video. This is the book I got, and so we're gonna transfer it to a better bag and board. This is a very dingy bag and board. He obviously doesn't know the value of this book. So let me just go over and get, where did I keep my, hang on, I'm gonna come back. Okay, so yeah, this is a very dingy bag and board. There's a lot of gunk on it. That's fine. You know, this guy probably deals in a lot of comics. He doesn't have time to bag and board everything. We're gonna take a look at the condition of this book, so I'm gonna kind of put the phone down again. You can just hear my voice, and we're going to pull this book out. So this is actually a really nice copy. I knew there were spine ticks here, okay? But other than that, with the press, corners are looking very nice. This is a really nice copy, and so I got this at a very good price. I gotta say, I'm very happy with this purchase. So yeah, I owe this guy an apology, and I'm very happy with this book. So kudos to him. So yeah, thank you for that. Now I'm just going to transfer it over to this nicer bag and board, and this is going to be added to the PC. Great book. So yeah, that's my Christmas Eve unboxing, eBay unboxings. Now we have that other comic coming on Friday. So again, Secret Wars 8. We'll go over the purchase. We'll go over the grade, and I'll show you again. This book here is definitely I mean, we're looking at a 9.0, I think, with the press. This is just a really nice, great cover. I love that cover. Classic Jim Lee. So again, 2 key Jim Lee adds to the collection, and I got another Grail book coming. So December's been a really productive month for me. So if you go and watch the videos that I picked, the comics that I picked up this month, a huge haul from Comic-Con, and again, really key books for the collection off of eBay. So all in all, this is a big one. The Marvel Ages too, but again, that's probably going to go back. Not pleased about the condition of that book, but this one I am very pleased with this one. I'm just going to flip it over real quick and just take a look at the back, make sure there aren't any issues on the back. And from what I could tell from the photo, there weren't. I mean, there are spine ticks there. I knew that going in, but no like water damage or anything there. So nice and glossy as well. Yeah, this is a really nice copy. So I'm surprised this guy sold it for as low as he did. He obviously didn't think there was much value in this book. And it's not a key or anything, it's just, again, iconic cover, um, Jim Lee cover. So for Jim Lee collectors, I mean, there is a substantial dollar value to this, but I got it way lower than what it books for. So this is something at some point will probably get graded, um, if when it goes up in value, which it will. Um, it will. I think all my Jim Lee books at some point are going to go up in value, because I mean there are a lot of Jim Lee books to collect, but um, given his sort of, I mean, if you're looking at the, let's talk about like late 80s on. If you're talking about creators from the late 80s on, you're looking at Mark McFarlane, Liefeld, Silvestri, Jim Lee, um, who else? I mean, those guys are like the Hall of Fame at the height of at the height of the growth of the industry. So I mean, it's kind of like collecting. Um, it's kind of like collecting a mantle, right? Like a Mickey Mantle. Um, no, who would it be? It would be like collecting Babe Ruth, because having the best-selling comic of all time makes you kind of like, that's like having the all-time home run record, right? So we're looking at like Hank Aaron, uh, like Barry Bonds. Well, yeah, you're basically looking at Jim Lee is like the Barry Bonds of the comic industry. So anyway, thank you for watching the video. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, um, and a happy 2022 that's coming up soon. So hopefully you spend a great, you have a, a great holiday with your loved ones, and you stay safe. And just thank you for following me. For those who watch the videos and have been kind of with me on my comic journey, I'm just happy to kind of share how all the progress I'm making and the books that I have, and it's going to be fairly in like I said, I spent so much this month. I'm really going to take a break from buying anything for about 6 months. So you probably won't see any content from me, like consistent content, especially haul content. You're not going to see that for, again, 6 months. But I'll try to put, stuff out here and there, something comic related. So we'll talk about something that maybe I'll start delving into, like industry, industry news or industry gossip, or maybe some speculation. Um, and definitely we'll just kind of, um, maybe I'll start to focus on some sales as well. I haven't really done that. I've been more focused on just picking up stuff for the PC. But now we're going to kind of turn to selling stuff. I don't have, the stuff I'm selling is not of great value, so I'm going to probably have to sell them in lots. And I'll try to price them, um, so that I can get some kind of value out of it. What I'm finding, what I'm surprisingly finding out is that I actually have a lot of sort of spec key issues that aren't worth a lot right now, but they could be. And what I'm disappointed about in terms of the hobby and how the hobby is trending is the hobby seems to be purely based on like whether there's a movie, like it's whether it's attached to a movie or not. That seems to be so. You have two tiers that's driving prices. One is just sort of um, trending on, like golden age horror. That's been a trend. Golden age books in general, silver age books in general. Um, but it's sort of like the flavor of the month. So if there's like a Fantastic Four movie, you'll see those like silver age fantastic just go shoot up in value. Um, so everything's kind of attached to like movie news and that and whatnot, um, which is I I don't agree with that. I don't see how a movie has anything to do with the value of a book, um, or the hobby. Like so for like collectors, it's just people used to collect what they liked, and there were the popular titles or whatever titles, there were key events in the comics, and that's what triggered the value. So if the basically the hobby or the hobbyists thought, hey, Wolverine loses his adamantium, he gets his adamantium pulled, that was a key comic, and that was something people bought. Also, just the popularity in titles back in the 90s, like Wizard would come out with like their list for the top comics, and people bought based off that list. I definitely did as well, which is why I have a bunch of um, image comics that aren't worth much. But that's kind of like where pricing was. Like the demand was what people were collecting. Now it's all based on like you know PR. So if you keep up with PR and like kind of um, can see what's coming in terms of like movie industry news, that's kind of what's driving prices. So that's unfortunate. I think a book like this um, should definitely be going up in value, um, because you're talking about, I mean, this cover is just, this cover should be on par with the McFarlane Spider-Man 300 issue. Okay. Um, and the reason that book spiked is just because of the popularity of Venom, and it's a 300, it's a 300th issue, which is a key issue. Those are really the only two factors, outside of the cover, right? People want that book because of the cover. Not because the 300th issue is significant, um, and the fact that it's um, I think, what is it? It's not even like a Venom key, right? It's not even a Venom key. It's just 300th issue, black costume, just a cool ass looking cover, right? So if this was 300, right? If this was Wolverine 3, or let's say it's Wolverine 50 or Wolverine 100, um, I mean, this is as iconic as that Spider-Man cover. If you love Wolverine, right? This is as iconic an image from an artist on par with McFarlane, if not better. I think Jim Lee's a way better artist than McFarlane, to be honest. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, like we're just going on like key covers, art, key cover art. This has to be like on par with those other sort of key cover books. So Anyway, it's never going to get to Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 300 status, and I'm fine with that, which is why I'm able to pick it up. So anyway, I've been ranting long enough. Um, Basically, I got off on a tangent. My intention was to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And again, we'll see you in our next video, which may be next year, which may be on New Year's Eve, whenever I get around to doing another video, you'll see it online. So thank you for following me, watching these videos, and stay safe.